Yo, what's going on, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's having a good day. This can't be live, can it? Let me know if the sound is good. The video should be good as well. I upped the bit rate from my last stream. So everything should be fucking tip top for this stream. Hopefully that is the case. So let me know if otherwise. I was just on the fucking phone with Razer. I got this like brand new Razer Blade laptop so I could stream and fucking produce content when I'm not at home. Spent like $5,000 on it and like the screen stopped working like right away. So I called them because I got the warranty, or it was under warranty, and they're like, yeah, we'll send you a box. You send it back to us in the box and then we'll fix it or replace it. So I'm like, sweet. That was in December. It took them 3 months to get me the box. 3 months and like hundreds of fucking phone calls to get the box. And I finally got it. And I called them. I'm like, I'm worried I'm going to send you this laptop and I'm never going to see it again based on how incompetent you guys have been. They're like, no, we're going to expedite it right back to you. Well, I sent the laptop in almost 3 weeks ago now and have not heard anything. They didn't even let me know that they received it. I had to track it myself. Fucking nuts. And so I called yesterday and they're like, oh, the service center is closed. We'll call you tomorrow. It's now 3 o'clock, nothing. So fuck Razer support, sons of bitches. Okay, glad to hear that the stream quality is good. It should be. I spent a whole lot of money on this new PC and this new camera and everything. So I even got a new green screen, which looks like it's working well. Cool. So yeah, lots to get to today, guys. Here, want to do a quick little impromptu stream, seeing as we're trading above the notorious gay line. We're trading above 30,000. What does that mean? That means all of you, all of us, are now able to talk to girls. Really, that's what it's all about. It was a long time under the gay line. Let's see how long it was. When did we break under 30K? June. It's now April. It's almost a year. That's a long time. That's longer than I've ever been gay before. Listen, if you want to do that, do that. But I'm just saying it's no longer mandatory. When we were under 30,000 and whenever we're under 30,000, it is mandatory. I don't make the rules. That comes from the High Council of Homosexuality. They passed those laws down. I'm just like Moses bringing the commandments down. I didn't write them. I'm just delivering them. All right. So that's good news. Bitcoin up above 30K. Ethereum rallying today over 2,000. It's almost like our entire industry did not go to shit and hell in a handbasket over the last 6 months. And there might actually still be some hope out there because prices are up basically 100% from the lows, which is awesome. Makes it seem pretty convincing that the bottom is in. Obviously, there's always risk. If you remember 2019, we had a rally from 3 to 14K and then it went back to 3K again. But that was because of the COVID stuff. So maybe that's not the best example. But I've been saying this for ages, as long as I can remember. I said, I think buying Bitcoin anywhere between 10 and 20K and Ethereum between 500 and 1,000, it's going to look really smart long term. And this is exactly why I mean that, because the chances of you buying right here, yeah, you had time, but we thought the world was ending here, right? FTX got imploded, went bankrupt. The economy is in the shitter. Everything looks bad. That's hard conditions to buy. That's why I promote dollar cost averaging, because you do not need to catch the bottom. And I always give you guys the example from last cycle where I was buying from 6K down to 3K and back up. And at the time, people are like, that's 100% range. You're crazy. But when Bitcoin went to 60K, no one was saying I was crazy anymore, right? So it looks, not COVID, sorry. Yeah, it was COVID, you fucker. What are you talking about? Don't lie to me. Literally, this is COVID. Why would you lie to me? This rally, we went up 300% from the lows and then all the way back to the lows because of COVID. Don't fuck with me like that. Maybe I said 2019 for the echo bubble, but maybe I said 2017. If that's the case, I'm sorry. But you guys know what I'm fucking mean. You know what I fucking mean. But again, the world was ending. Everyone said crypto was dead. The biggest person in the space got arrested and extradited from the Bahamas. Usually that's a good time to buy, but I completely understand why that might be scary and you might not want to buy because again, it's that the best buys are usually during the scariest times, right? The best sells are during the most euphoric times. So this is why I've always promoted dollar cost averaging, and you can go in my Telegram, you can go in my Discord, you can go on my Twitter. All of my tweets about buying in that range are there. Did I get as much spot as I wanted to? Of course not. I didn't go all in. I'm more risk averse than a lot of people. I accumulated a certain amount of wealth and I don't really want to go backwards. So I'm calculated with what I risk, but I got enough where if price goes up and I'm not in like a leverage long position, I'm not salty about it, right? So how much of your capital that is, I don't know. I can't tell you, but price going up, I still feel good because I have exposure. Could I have had more exposure? Of course. And if we dip, will I look to build more exposure? Absolutely. So very exciting times, right? Basically 100% up off the lows. We've wiped out the FTX dump. We've wiped out the 30K floor break and we're right back there. And I talked about this, I can't remember in what video, it must have been ages ago now, right? But we talked about, okay, we have this range, deviate, reclaim, target the high. Well, now what about this? What about this range? Is this now just the deviation and we're now back above here? We're going to fucking rip. So pretty key area that we're at right now, in my opinion. Pretty exciting stuff. The best part of all of this is the market is volatile. Altcoins are moving. Bitcoin is moving. Today's been the first day in a long time where we've seen altcoins outpace Bitcoin. For the most part, this has been a Bitcoin-led rally. Now it looks like Ethereum's kind of taking control, which is great. You're going to see a lot of altcoins go. Probably see that go to mid caps and then small caps. And then usually you get some sort of correction. So is Bitcoin going to go sideways here? Does it have more juice in the tank for upside? That's yet to be seen. But it's pretty exciting that, this is, we're above 30K. If you would have asked me back in November and December when I got fucked out of FTX, would I think we'd be back at 30K in the spring? I would have said no. But here we are. So this is why it's so important not to, marry some bias. I don't care if we go to zero from here. Well, if we go to zero, I do care. I don't care if we retrace all the way back to here. If you completely miss this because you were convinced we had to go down, okay, are you even trading, right? You cannot be married to a bias. I don't care if we go down after this. The bottom line is we made like 100% rally from the lows. And if you didn't catch any of that in the last 3-4 months, what are you really doing, right? Why are you stuck in such a bearish bias? You can still be bearish and take longs, right? You could still think high time frame, this goes lower, but you cannot ignore this type of rally. Just like you shouldn't ignore any rally in a bear market, right? Or any decline in a bull market. Just because we're in a bull market doesn't mean you can't short when it dips, right? So really happy that we are, up here. I'm going to lay out kind of my short-term ideas, where I think the market is going, can go. And then I'll talk about some higher time frame ideas I have, areas where I might potentially look to buy spot if we get enough of a dip. I'm getting a ton of questions about spot. People are like, I'm underexposed. How do I get more spot? Generally, in a bull run, I don't know if this is a bull run yet or a bear market rally, but generally when we're trending very strong, the time to buy spot is when we have those big double-digit red days, like here. Those generally, right? And we will have a correction here. This could go higher, but we're eventually going to get a sharp pullback, and then maybe we continue up. That's going to be when you want to capitalize. So when we get that sharp pullback, that's when you're going to want to pay attention. And right when you feel like a pullback is never going to happen, that's usually when the pullback happens, right? So I'll lay out my plans on Bitcoin, Ethereum. We can look at equities. I'll look at ARB. So I'll go over the ARB trade that I posted in Telegram, which I know a bunch of you caught because the Wins channel went nuts. It's like most of you caught this move, which is awesome. We can talk about the Sol trade that I took that did not work, and I can talk about why it might not have worked, and we can see what we learned from that. And then we can also look at the gold trade, which fucking crushed, and I got swerved. So basically, I posted this trade in the Telegram, and I talked about it in my Metals with Mayne video last week. I was looking to see a pullback into this H12 demand, and then I was looking to buy. I had my orders at 1995.50. My broker hit 1995.48, but I just did not get filled with the spread, which is a real pain in the ass because this thing fucking ripped and it was super clean. This and ARB are bread and butter longs for my system. The H12, H1 system, both of those were bread and butter. So we'll go over those. And I think that will be some good, education for you guys to see. Because again, I do my best to post this stuff in advance, right? So when ARB was trading down here and it looked like shit, I said, I'm still interested in a long. I'm waiting for an SFP. We got the SFP and I said, hey guys, it's printing a buy signal. And luckily, a lot of you are learning enough that you know what to look for when I say those things. You don't need me to stick the RR tool on there. You know what to look for. You know what to do, which is great. All right, so that's what we'll focus on. We'll go over kind of short-term, intraday, what setups I'm watching. Then we can talk about kind of higher time frame stuff, where I think areas I would look for a large correction to happen would be, and where would I be interested in buying. And then we can kind of go from there. I know this is a bit of an impromptu stream, but I wanted to get it out here for you guys because obviously stuff's happening, stuff's popping. So, thank you so much for all the kind comments about me joining the Haven. Was a difficult decision. As you guys know, if you've been following me for a long time, I've been putting out content I've been on Twitter since 2014, putting out content, videos, tweets. The Telegram now is almost 15,000 people. Discord is 15,000 plus people. I'm trying my best to answer questions and tags and share. I'm doing weekly live streams and share trades and ideas and education with you guys. And it gets to a point where, I want to be compensated for some of that time because I absolutely take time away from my own trading and my own free time to manage the communities, right? So I was considering doing something on my own, but when I talked to the guys at the Haven, it just seemed to make a ton of sense. They've got a great team over there already. You got Loma, you got CBS, you got Pierre, Krillin, UB, Jim. So there's already some killer analysts over there to share the workload. And it's just already a pre-built infrastructure. So I want to be very clear. I would not be where I am today without you guys. I could be anon on Twitter, just trading my own money, just interacting with people I care about. But because of you guys, I have followers and I have an audience, and it is very important to me. And I do my best to show you guys, I appreciate it. And I try and, send you guys, information and updates as often as I can. And so I want to be very clear. So the Haven is a paid group, 100%. So I will be sharing trades in there, educational videos, deeper analysis and nuances into my system. And I'll also be available, obviously, for Q&A whenever I'm awake. If you tag me in there, I'm going to answer. And you have the advantage of talking to other analysts and other traders as well. My free content as it is today will not change. So if you guys like my streams, you guys like my Telegram, you like the Trader Mayne Discord, you guys like my tweets, none of that stuff is going away. The market structure video will be released mid next week. I'm still going to be producing content. I'm still going to be sharing in Telegram, analysis, charts, trade ideas. None of that stuff is going to change. But if you want more, if you want better access to me and even more stuff, that's going to be the place to get it. I get DMs all the time from a lot of you guys asking if I do one-on-one mentorships, if I have, a private group or a course or things like that. And I haven't had an answer because a one-on-one mentorship just doesn't make sense. It's not worth my time to charge someone $200, $300 for an hour of my time. So, I think it's going to be, great. Like I said, it's an awesome team. I'm excited to be a part of it. They've got a great track record. But I'm going to continue posting how I've been posting. And if you have, the free streams will not slow down. I'll still be doing my weekly streams. But yeah, I mean, listen, if people don't want to join, you do not have to join. There's no pressure to join. Right? My free stuff is still going to be here. So if you have questions about that specifically and you want to join, or you just have some questions, feel free to ask me, tag me, hit me up on Twitter or Discord. More than happy to answer any questions you may have. I'm excited about it. But like I said, the free content, it's not changing. It's not going anywhere. So let's get into the video now. Let's get into the video now, and we will go into my kind of initial thoughts on Bitcoin, and we will go into So yeah, some of these questions, this is why I want to do the video. These are some dumb questions, right? Paid group leader. Why paid group if you're rich? Why do anything if you're rich? Should Jeff Bezos stop making money? Should Elon stop working? He's already rich. Why continue to work? Why continue to earn money? Why? Like that's such insane logic to me. Like why talk about why make money if you already have money is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Jesus Christ. And if you're upset that I'm doing this, so be it, right? Like, you know what I mean? I post a ton of stuff for free. If you see value in it, join. If you don't see value in it, do not join. Okay? Simple as that. Like unreal. Why take money from who want to learn if you are rich? Why do anything? Should I just do everything for free? Should I just trade for you and all the time and money I've spent learning to trade? I should just do that for free. Okay. So let's look at Bitcoin here. Right now, we're within this weekly order block here, okay? So this is a weekly bearish order block here. That's resistance, okay? So this is an area where we could potentially see price pull back. Now, looking at the high time frame here, I do think that there is a chance that we pull back to the middle of this range. So if you go from the all-time high to this low, the mid-range of this entire price leg is right around 42,000 and this high time frame consolidation here. So there absolutely is an argument to be made that we trade up into this area. We also have this weekly fair value gap right here, okay? So this, to me, high time frame seems to be a draw on price. Way up here. I've been posting about this for a while. I've been posting about this area for a while. I updated a tweet where I talked about it when we first kind of got to right under 30K. Doesn't mean we're going to go here in a straight line, but we have 3 weeks of consolidation and now a big push up. So it'll be interesting to see how this weekly candle closes. But I do think 34 to 36K, very possible for Bitcoin. We are into some resistance here though. So when we come into high time frame resistance, I look for signs of weakness or potential weakness. It doesn't mean I think we're going to fucking zero and the top is in, but if we get some sort of pullback and we might drop 5 or 6%, maybe I want to short, or maybe I want to have an opportunity to long from lower. So that's what I want to be looking for. So we have this fresh price leg on Bitcoin that we've now confirmed. We have our low here. You could argue that this is your low, but basically the same thing. Either of these lows work. They're both swing lows. This low, okay, to our fresh swing high, and we have a 12-hour order block here in the bottom, and we have this entire area as kind of like a 12-hour fair value gap. So the way that I'm operating now here, kind of short term, is I want to see the daily close, which is in about an hour and a half. If we close as an SFP of the high, which let's say the candle closed right now, this would be an SFP of this high, okay? So move above, close back below. That would be an SFP. If we close as a 12-hour SFP within this weekly resistance, I would then go down to the hourly and I would potentially look for some sort of low time frame trigger, right? So I'd say, okay, maybe we're breaking this trend line. We've got our breaker set up here, and maybe we sell off down to here and potentially even to here. That could be a short idea, or you could just monitor it to pull back and then look to get long. The trend is up, okay? So the 12-hour trend is bullish. So if we get a pullback into this 12-hour range, it's for longing. So the first thing you're going to want to do is figure out, are we going to get that pullback? And that's going to be apparent up here. We're up in the upper part of the range. If we get the rejection and then we get the market structure break and the shift in trend on the low time frame to the downside, then great. We wait for price to pull back, and then we look for price to maybe come back to this 12-hour demand, or maybe it settles within this order block or this fair value gap here, right? Maybe it doesn't come all the way down here. Maybe it only comes to this low. Regardless, we look then for the hourly to get bullish. And then we get long, expecting a new high to be made. So what we're playing is this price leg. And what I'm hoping for is I want to see a pullback into a higher low that I can then get long for the next leg higher on price. So that's all I'm really looking at right now is the daily close, then see if we get a low time frame shift to the downside. If we do, maybe I short, or maybe I just wait and see if I can get a long lower. And I'm looking to long in the lower part of this 12-hour range, right? I always talk about premium versus discount, and this will be covered in the market structure video that's coming out next week. But if you take your fib from here to here, I want to long. If this is going to go up again, I would like to long below the 50%. Below here. This is the ideal long. Okay, it doesn't have to come down here, but below the 50% is the ideal long. That is the discount, okay? Discount pricing. You want to look for shorts in premium, longs in discount, right? So that's what I'm watching for right now. Very simple. The 12-hour chart's been working really, really well. I got faked out on a signal in here, but as you guys know, I flipped long on Ethereum and was able to capture this upside move, even though Bitcoin faked me out because it was a little bit sticky in here. But this is a very clean price leg. So if we get that pullback, I'm looking for reasons to long the dip. Bullish market structure on the low time frame to get long. If we break above the highs, which we definitely can, just because we have a range here, right, does not mean we have to pull back here. We can just go and make a new high from here. Well, what would happen if we make a new high? We would then have a new 12-hour range. So let's say we make a new high to 31.5. This candle just closes up like this. Okay, now I've got a new swing low, a new swing high, and a fresh 12-hour order block. This would then be where I'm looking to long the dip if it comes down to. Okay? So that's the game plan right now for Bitcoin. Pretty straightforward, I think. So let me know in the chat if you have any questions about what I just explained there, because I think it's pretty straightforward. We're waiting to see how the daily close. If we get some sort of sweep up here, could be a short opportunity. We're looking to long the dip. If we close through the highs, we're then going to find our new price leg, and that's where we'll operate in. But for now, we're operating in this price swing. Paid groups are not a service, Mayne. It's a borderline scam. Once again, happy for you to get that back. But even for people like Jim are in there, still scam. I mean, I disagree with you. If the group was a scam, no one would stay in it. It's that simple. You're not forced to join. You're not forced to sign up for a year. If it sucks, people will leave. Okay? I was in tons of paid groups when I learned, and like 9 out of 10 of them were shitty. But the ones that weren't were really fucking good and really advanced and accelerated my education. If you think otherwise, I do not care. I've done enough in this space over the last 5 years for free. I don't need to prove myself to anyone or for anything. If you don't see value in what I do, don't watch. Do you think long-term BTC should revisit 19K at least? It's impossible to say. It's impossible to say. I do not know. Would I like to buy fucking cheap Bitcoin again? Of course. But looking at PA, just strictly as is, like on the weekly, based on this structure, right? I don't really think it should trade below this lower white line. So the dream scenario for me, I don't know how high it goes, but is a big pullback eventually into here before continuation, right? And that's where I would buy more spot if I got so lucky. Could be completely wishful thinking, of course, and we can just continue to chat and be at 40K in a month. I don't know, but high time frame, right? Just like we were operating on that 12-hour range, right? The weekly range until this candle closes is here. This is our weekly range right now. This is obviously looking like it's going to close well through. But if this for some reason SFPs over the next couple of days, then maybe we get a deeper retracement. I don't know. But 19K seems pretty low. Like that would be 30, 40% pullback. Is it possible? Of course. We've seen Bitcoin pull back huge percentages before. That alone was a 22% pullback. In previous bull runs, there's a 30% pullback. So it's not impossible. But I would like to think that kind of, 22 to 24 would be the area where the pullback stops. Hopefully I just answered your question there, Isaac. Yes, I will go over ARB. Yeah, I'm not really gonna interact with shitty people. I'm just gonna I've decided as of a few weeks ago, because I used to I would snap back at people who would talk shit on Twitter, and there's nothing for me to gain, but everything for them to gain. It's all lose for me. So I'm just if you're talking shit, being an asshole, I'm just gonna block you. That simple. Don't need you in my life. I will continue to stream at least once a week on YouTube, minimum, sometimes more. But Haven, I'll be streaming, maybe 3 times, 4 times a week. Not always streams either, just uploading videos. What is the MSB on the hourly? So you need to, first we need to see, hold on, let me get our lines back. We don't know yet, right? So it's the low that generated the high. Right now, the SFP high is right here. So let's assume that the daily candle closed right now. This would be the low that we need to see MSB. So if this closed as a daily SFP, we would need to see price then break this low for us to want to get involved, or for us to get confirmation that it's likely going to pull back. I will post a link. Yeah, sure. Here, one sec. I posted it on Twitter, guys. But yeah, here is the link for those asking. Okay, so is everyone give me... Can everyone confirm that you have a good understanding of my plan for Bitcoin? Okay, I've hopefully made it very, very clear here what we want to see on the daily and the 12-hour, and then what we want to see on the hourly. So let me know. Where do I trade Forex? I trade with a few prop firms, and then I also trade with Oanda. Love you too, Trader Bat. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate it, bro. Okay, cool. So that's Bitcoin done and dusted. 12-hour down to the 1 hour. You now have a plan. So you now know, regardless of what happens, you have a game plan. If this happens, right? You know what to do. If we break above here, you know what to do. If we pull back down to here, you know what to do. Okay? Thomas says, I am not sure about the difference between market structure shift and market structure break. So I'm going to have my market structure video complete this coming week. I've already sent part of it to the editor and he's working on it. Once it's done, I'll hopefully have all those questions answered. I go over market structure in pretty good detail, give you lots of examples. I explain the difference between MSBs and MSSs, as well as external structure versus internal structure. It's all going to be in that video. Do you use a copy trader to be able to trade multiple accounts at once? I do. Prop firms are a great way. I agree. I've used prop firms for years, and I think prop firms are great. Yes, there are rules, right? You can only have a certain amount of drawdown. There's a profit split. Some prop firms won't let you carry trades over the weekend. Like, there are rules, but if you're a disciplined trader, they're completely manageable. And it's a great way if you are undercapitalized to build up your personal capital. So I think you trade on a prop firm forever? No. But you absolutely can trade on a prop firm account, make money, and use that to fund your personal account, and then stop using the prop firm account altogether. That's what I think the best value is in these prop firms, is using them as a way to build up your own capital that you manage 100% of. Yeah, I think they're great. And I've got lots of experience with them. A very common thing with people is they spend all this time learning trading, right? And they're like, hey, I think I got the hang of this. But they're like, oh, well, I only have $1,000 or $2,000 to put in an account, or $5,000. Well, for $250, you can do a prop firm challenge and potentially trade 50,000 or 100,000. Most prop firms do let you trade crypto. I don't know about the spreads for crypto on the various prop firms. That's what you would want to check. Fees, commissions, spreads. Make sure it's not highway robbery, because it might not make sense. It might make sense to swing trade crypto on there, but if the spreads suck, you're not going to be able to scalp, right? Like, if the spread between the bid and the ask on Bitcoin is like a couple $100, you can't scalp that, right? Okay. I know that a lot of you had questions about Bybit and Binance, etc. So what I'm hearing are rumors at this point. I don't have any sort of confirmation officially, so keep that in mind. But what I've heard are there's rumors of mandatory KYC coming to Bybit, meaning you will have to KYC to use the exchange, or at least withdraw money. So right now on Bybit, you can withdraw $20,000 a day and up to $100,000 a month, no KYC. If they introduce mandatory KYC, you might have to KYC just to use the exchange, or you might only be able to withdraw a very small amount without KYC. Like FTX, for example, without KYC, you could only withdraw $2,000 a day. Sounds like a lot, but if you have a $200,000 account, what are you supposed to do? Withdraw $2,000 a day for 100 days, right? So that is something I'm hearing. Canadians are not supposed to be trading on any exchanges offering leverage, and it's slowly getting implemented. It's not implemented yet. I can still go on Binance in Canada, but they will be getting rid of Canadian users soon. Or Bybit, excuse me. Binance is announcing, the rumor I've heard from Binance is that they'll be announcing that they're exiting Canadians off the platform. I've heard from someone in Discord today that OKX is planning to get Canadians off the platform in June. So there's going to be obviously some changes coming with where I am able to even trade. Obviously you can use VPNs and you can do all sorts of things, but at the end of the day, I pay taxes, right? And I don't want to, be breaking the law unnecessarily, right? So, for now, what I've done is I've just moved my funds off of Bybit while I've had the chance, or I've been moving funds off of Bybit because I don't want mandatory KYC to come in and then all of a sudden I've got money stuck on Bybit that I can't get out. So I do know that there is DEXs available, like on-chain trading, like Quenta and Apex and things like that. So maybe GMX, maybe I'll check out those. I don't really know a lot about the liquidity on those. And then obviously you're trading on chain as well. So everything is kind of visible. Right. So that's a factor for sure. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted with what I do. And if you guys have any suggestions, obviously feel free to shoot me that way, those my way. But that's just what I'm hearing. I don't know anything for sure. I'm not trying to spread FUD, right? It's just that you got to be aware. I do use Prime XBT. I'm not talking about Prime. I'm talking about Bybit and Binance right now. I have money on multiple exchanges, right? But I just don't want it. I don't want to have, that was my problem with FTX, is I was not fully KYC'd, right? So when I started hearing rumors about shit, like I was withdrawing money every day from FTX, but I was not fully KYC'd. And so when shit hit the fan, I submitted my KYC docs in hopes that I could get approved and get my money off, and then I couldn't. So yeah, I don't want that to, I don't want that to happen again. And why are you worried about KYCing when you're already public with your identity? It's not that I'm worried about KYCing. Canada is banning leverage trading. So if I have to KYC with my Canadian passport, that's not going to work. Okay, so everyone's got a clear plan on Bitcoin. So that's the low time frame plan. Obviously, looking at the weekly right now, like I said here, guys, we're in a large weekly range right now from here up to here, right? Or you could argue that we're still putting in the range, but technically that is your swing. So if we get any sort of large dip into this lower part of this weekly range here, into this weekly breaker, right? I wanted to bid this breaker here. If you guys remember, I was like, hey, if it dips to this breaker, I want to bid it. It never came down here. It can still come here, right? Now we have a swing low right here. So perhaps that this is, hey, maybe we push a little higher and then we run that low and then we continue up. I don't know. But the weekly chart, this is the area of interest. If we get a very strong correction, this is the area where I'd be looking for the bullish market structure to reappear on the weekly and it be a higher low. So what I just explained to you on the H12, right? We have our order block and we're trading up here. And I'm saying, hey, I want to buy potentially down here if I can for the next leg up and the higher low of this range. That's exactly the same as what I'm talking about on the weekly here. This is our range, and I would love to buy the higher low here. It does not have to happen. Obviously, if we come all the way down here, you bet the 12 hour is going to be in a downtrend. Just like in our 12-hour range, if we come all the way down here, the hourly will be in a downtrend. That's what I mean when I say price is fractal. And I go over this in the market structure video. So I really think that video is going to help a lot of you with a lot of the questions that you have around levels. And the main purpose of that video is to help you guys identify the trend, right? Are we in an uptrend? Are we in a downtrend? Are we going sideways? Because if you know that we are in a bullish trend and we are going up, when you're on the low time frame, it helps you be more selective with what you're looking for, what you're looking at, right? You don't know what you're looking for. Like the problem is with a lot of traders that I see, right, is you'll be like, okay, here's my swing low. and here's my swing high, right? So I'm bullish. This is the 12-hour chart, right? You're like, I'm bullish and I'm looking to buy the dip. Okay, that's where you start. But then you go down to the 15-minute chart, and on the 15-minute chart, we're making lower lows and lower highs. And you're like, holy shit, this looks like crap on the 15-minute. I'm going to short. And what happens? You end up shorting right into the higher low. And then the H12 higher low forms. The 15-minute flips bullish and it fucking expands hard. So you're short and it's just grinding down. And then boom, it just rips up and you're like, what the hell happened? Well, you lost view of the high time frame context. And so you got baited into shorting on the low time frame and you ended up shorting right into that high time frame higher low. Okay, so this is a super, super important concept here. And I cover this in the market structure video, and I think it's going to help a lot of you because a lot of you don't like waiting. You're impatient. You don't want to look at the 12-hour or the daily or the weekly. Fine. Look at the hourly. Look at the 15-minute, but have that high time frame context in mind. And then everything you do on the low time frame has a higher probability of being correct. Right? Exactly what Muhammad said here. He's like, but if we go down there, everyone's going to say it's over. Did I just call you Muhammad and your name's not Muhammad? Hold on. No, it is Muhammad. Exactly. So if we come all the way down here, people go, oh shit, it looks like shit. They get caught up in this low time frame and they end up shorting into the higher low. This happens all the fucking time, right? That's what happened literally here, right? This is an uptrend. We're making higher highs and higher lows. We just broke major market structure. But you see this happen and you're like, oh, it looks like shit now. It just made a lower low here, forgetting that, hey, we're within this bullish leg here. This is just the higher low. We ended up running it here. But again, this is just a higher time frame version of what I just explained. So we're in an uptrend here on the high time frame. Right? Here's your bullish leg right here. So on the low time frame, this looks like it's over. It looks like we're going to zero. But in reality, on the weekly, we just pulled back into where? The discount of that weekly range, just below the 50%, and boom. Right? So that's what I mean, price is fractal. You get these types of reactions here when you're congruent in your time frames. When the high time frame and the low time frame are going the same direction, that's when you get those explosive moves, and that's when you get those high probability setups that really rip. So again, if the hourly chart looks like this next week, what do you think people are going to be saying? Bart, the top's in, it's over. Forgetting that, hey, based on the 12-hour, this is exactly where I wanted price to come back to. On the hourly, it's going to look like shit. But then what's going to happen is the hourly all of a sudden is going to flip bullish and get back in line with that 12-hour uptrend, and it ended up being just the higher low, right? That's where most people get fucked. So that is a lot of alpha right there. I highly suggest you watch that over. Very important, very key. And in my market structure video, I go over this, okay? So we covered Bitcoin pretty handily here. So we're going to look over at Ethereum now. Isn't FTX coming back? Maybe. I mean, I posted those articles and it's just crazy that they literally were keeping private keys with hundreds of millions of dollars worth of crypto effectively on like a Google sheet. Like they're keeping it on the AWS server. They're keeping it on text files without passwords. What is the number one thing you're not supposed to do? Like if you get a ledger What is the number one thing it says? It says, do not put your private key on your computer. Don't take a picture of it. Don't put it on your phone. Don't text it to anyone. You got to write it down physically and keep it separate and safe, because that private key gives you whatever the fuck's on that wallet. They were doing exactly what the most basic level of security with crypto is, which is managing your keys. And they had it on a computer on a company-wide server with no passwords, nothing. And then in like the writing, it's just like, they're just like, yeah, you know, we had so much going on. Sometimes we would just find wallets with like 50 million on it. Like, it's impossible to audit us. It's like, what the fuck? What do you mean? How is that even possible? How is there that much of a lack of controls that that's even possible? So the good news, I guess, is saying, hey, these guys were so fucking unorganized that maybe they were insolvent, but maybe they weren't as insolvent as they thought. They just didn't know where any of the fucking money was. But even that, it's like, what the fuck, right? But yeah, if they have $7 billion and it's liquid, who knows? Is that Solana? Is that fucking FTT token? Is that older prices, or is that prices today? We don't know yet. But if they have a bunch of money, then maybe I'll get some of my money back or a little bit more of it. I'm not getting my hopes up. But if the exchange opens again and I'm able to have access to my money, I am taking it and I am running as far away as fast as possible. No chance I would trust that fucking team and that organization again. Simply leave Canada, homie. If only it was that easy. If you knew what it takes to actually leave the country and not pay taxes, it is a ton of work. It costs a ton of money. You got to do an exit tax. You got to sell all your assets to yourself and then pay tax on it. You cannot hold any Canadian property. No bank accounts. You can't have rent. You can't even have a storage locker. You can have nothing in your name. All you get to keep is your passport. And then you can only stay here 180 days a year. And that is a headache enough, having to count your days. How many days have I been here? But right off the bat, if you say you're no longer a Canadian resident and then you proceed to spend the next 6 months in Canada, they're going to question it. And they're going to say, well, did you actually leave? So usually for the first couple of years, you can't really come back as much as you'd like to. And I'm just at a point and age in my life where I'm like, do I want to be bouncing around between homes in different countries and not really have a home base? And do I want to be far away from family? If I'm going to have kids or something, right, I want my parents around. You know what I mean? If I was 22 and I was living at home, I would have left already. Right? I have stuff. I have stuff now. I'm 32. I didn't have shit when I was 22. Yes, it is slightly better than the US. Yeah, the US you have to renounce completely. And I would not be surprised if Canada implements like a global tax like the US does, where it's like, if you live anywhere and you want to remain a US citizen, you got to report to the IRS. I wouldn't be surprised if Canada goes that route because they're worried about capital flight. They're worried about people leaving. Come to Australia. Australia is just as bad as Canada, bro. Do you honestly think the macro bottom is in? I mean, we're up 100% off the lows. It would be pretty shocking if we went and made new lows from here. I will never say anything with 100% certainty because I do not know. But I think it's unlikely that we make new lows. Can we? Absolutely. I would love to buy 10K Bitcoin. But I'm just trying to think of all the things that so much has gone wrong in crypto. So much has blown up and exploded. And we're at 30K. What would have to happen for us to go back to 15 outside of like global catastrophe? You know what I mean? But anything is possible. But I'm operating off the idea that for now, the bottom is in. The bottom is in until it isn't, right? The top is in until it isn't. Come to Nigeria. I think I'm going to pass on that one, brother. I don't do well in the sun. I'm very pasty and very white. Do you think Bitcoin can continue up? Without retracing? Yeah, it could. Absolutely could, right? Trader XO still waits for new lows. I also know that Trader XO is longing and shorting and longing and shorting. He's just playing the chart, right? I think people get baited into, what people say on Twitter that sometimes is just a means for them to rile people up and to get engagement, right? I'm sure he's taken longs on the way up and shorts on the way back down and everything, right? And maybe it does go down eventually, and he's right. Who fucking knows? But me saying, here's the perfect example. It's like the capo argument. Him saying the bottom is not in. Okay, maybe it's not. Maybe we are going to trade down here at some point in the future. But does that mean you just ignore all of this? Because eventually we're going to go back down? That's just dumb. You're not really trading, right? So you can't, saying the bottom is in or is not in, there's no value in that from a trader. For a trader, right? For me, all I care about is what is the most likely direction that price is going to go next, and can I make some money in that direction? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Binance gets shut down. Maybe the government bans crypto and they implement CBDCs and we're all fucked. Like, literally anything can fucking happen, right? So trying to be like the bottom has to be in and we go to 100K from here, whatever. I just focus on level to level. Are we still bullish? I'm going to keep longing. Look at the top here. If you just maintained that as long as we don't make a lower low, right, on the daily, right, until where? This was the first sign of weakness on the daily. More weakness, even more weakness, and then the top was in. But this entire way up, even with all the ups and downs, we continued to make higher lows. So until that changed, the game plan was to long, right? Long until you're wrong. That's what that means, at least to me. Same idea here. As long as we keep putting in higher highs and higher lows, I will keep looking to long dips. And then if all of a sudden we start putting in lower highs and lower lows, then I will look to short until that changes. When you start thinking like that, bias doesn't matter as much. You become more fluid, right? You're just playing with the waves, the ups and the downs, the ups and the downs. Is it capo or capo? Crypto capo. I don't know. Okay, let's look at Ethereum here. So Ethereum, if you guys been following in Telegram, I posted this trade in there with stop, entry, and target, and it hit for, multiple R. And I gave you guys the re-entry as well. So I longed this dip, and then I gave you guys the entry on this one. So I'll go over what happened, and then we can go over what I think's next. So if you remember, the reason I longed Ethereum was I thought the chart was cleaner because we were trading here, right? When we were trading here, right? This is April 5th. What was Bitcoin doing? It was in this kind of choppy consolidation where we're running the highs, we're running the lows. Ethereum was very clear. We made a low and a higher high. So it just was clear to me. It doesn't matter to me that Bitcoin ended up going up more initially because now Ethereum is catching up. What chart was easier for me to read and easier for me to see a setup on, it was Ethereum, right? So I had our low to our high. I marked out the order block and I said, hey, if we come down here, I want to bid. We came down into the order block. We put in an H12 SFP. Go down to the hourly. Multiple opportunities to get long here off of breakers, order blocks, H1 SFPs. There was multiple signals here, which I gave you the one I took. I put the RR tool on there. So what I love about what's going on in the Discord now is I can post like Arbitrum yesterday. And I say, Arbitrum looks really good. It just put in a sweep and it's putting in a buy signal, and people know exactly what to do. They know where to enter. They know where their stop goes. They know where to target, right? So I don't have to put the RR tool on there if you know what you're looking for, right? But I laid it all out for you on a fucking silver platter with Arbitrum. Same thing with gold. I laid it out on a silver platter. I told you exactly what to look for and where. Ethereum, I gave you the fucking RR tool. There's no more I can do. I gave you the legit stop entry target. Okay. So like, and banged, right? It banged. So that was entry number one. H12, pull back into the order block, target the high. We're expecting this to be a higher low. Remember what I just said here? Pull back, we're expecting it to be a higher low, and then you target a new high. That's exactly what played out here. What were people saying about Ethereum right here? Ethereum's dead. Ethereum BTC is going to zero. Ethereum Shanghai is coming up. Super bearish. They shorted into the higher low. Right? That was trade number one. And then the second setup that I showed you guys is I said, hey, we just SFP'd on the H12 here. What does that mean? It means that this is now an H12 breaker. I said, I posted this before it was even a breaker. I posted it here, okay? I said, if this breaks high, which it did, this becomes a breaker. Breaks up, comes down, tests the breaker. There's your next leg. Is there not a setup here on the hourly that you can take for this breaker? Right? There absolutely is. Absolutely. And you guys are starting to see this stuff without me, which is awesome. Right? I'm giving you the tools to the toolkit, teaching you to fish. You guys are fishing. I'm not just, sending you the risk reward tool chart anymore, right? So this one was pretty straightforward, pretty bread and butter, and I gave you guys both levels where the reaction was going to happen, and a lot of you longed it, which is awesome. So my favorite channel in the Discord is the Wins channel because I love going in there and seeing you guys fucking crush it. It genuinely makes me happy. So now, where is the target for Ethereum off of this breaker? First target was the previous high here. Now we've pushed up. We're above 2K. We have August high over here, which I believe is also, yeah. So it's a monthly high, and I believe it's a quarterly high as well. Not that. Yeah, so this is a quarterly high here, 3-month candle high, right? Monthly high, very key level. This is the same as Bitcoin at 25K back here. Same level, August high. Bitcoin is well beyond it. What does that mean? It means FBTC has been getting smoked and Bitcoin dominance has been going up. Yes, that's the case. Right? But look what happened when Bitcoin took out August high. Peaked above it, pulled back, the next month fucking rocketed. Maybe we see something similar here. Maybe we see a slight move above and then a pullback. I don't know. Right? I do not know. But we will go above this high. We came very close today, within $5. This will be a key area to watch. If we get some sort of rejection up here, I don't know yet. But we have a clear upside objective, and then we're going to wait and see how price reacts. We have a high time frame liquidity pool up there. we also have our new range, right? So wherever this high, maybe this becomes the swing high. The next candle closes like this. Great. Now we have our new range to work within that we'll be looking to buy the dip into. That's simple, right? This is just staircasing its way up and we're just following it along. And eventually it's going to fucking pull back hard and it's going to blow through this, right? So eventually this will not work. You're going to get it. Eventually this will come down here and they'll just keep going. Well, guess what? The market has just shown its hand that it wants lower. Now we're looking to short the next retrace, right? Simple as that. You're not going to get it 100% of the time, but you keep playing it until it doesn't work anymore. We also had Monday's range here, which played out beautifully with the breaker, right? We had the breaker here. We came above Monday's high. Go check Telegram. I said everyone should mark Monday's high on Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I said Monday's range in play for Ethereum, right? Came all the way from the high, deviated, bearish retest, all the way to the low, into that demand, bang, back up to the upside. Played out beautifully. So that's just another layer of confluence. But as you can see, you don't even need Monday's range. Don't even need it, right? So Ethereum now, we are going to watch and we're going to have to see where the next couple candles close. I want to see this daily candle close and then I want to see the next daily candle close. Just like on Bitcoin, initially it was here, but then we made a higher high the next day. Now we've got a 3 candle swing. So I need to see that on Ethereum. I need to see this next 12-hour candle close. And then I can mark out my new low and my new potential high. And then, yeah, my area of interest for a potential pullback. Okay, so that's the plan for Ethereum right now. Need to see some more candle closures. I'm pretty sure maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but we're going to run August high. And then I want to see what happens around there. This is going to be a key high, and I expect some sort of reaction. Okay, guys. So now I'm going to go over gold because that was another beauty setup. Then I'm going to go over Arbitrum, and then I'm going to end the video. So for all of those guys wondering, am I still going to be posting good shit? This stuff is not changing. These streams will remain, okay? And I know that these are beneficial to you guys. I know you guys are learning a lot because you tell me that you are, which is awesome. Okay, but lots of alpha, lots of really good stuff, going on in this stream, and it will continue to, okay? Ethereum BTC ran that H12 low here. So this is a little bit tricky. Like, we're within the lower part of this high time frame range. The H12, right, I guess would be, I guess this becomes the key, like right around here. Because if we get above here, we probably at least go to this high. But we could see a pullback from here. But this is why Ethereum and alts are running now. And if you go look at BTC dominance, it's getting a bit of a pullback, right? So you're going to want to watch. Is BTC dominance is the top in? Or is it just a brief pullback before continuation to the upside? So I'd be watching BTC dominance back into here and see if we get, a reaction from this area. Because if we don't, and this continues to sell off, it doesn't mean that the market can't go up. It just might mean that now it's time for Ethereum to lead and altcoins to go up more than Bitcoin. And Bitcoin might go sideways or might go up, but just a little. Perfect example of that is this, right? Ethereum was at, what was it at here in April? Ethereum in March and April was trading at $2,000. While Bitcoin was at all-time high in March and April. Bitcoin started going sideways and started to kind of look distributive, started to lose momentum. What did Ethereum do? It went fucking ballistic. And then everything crashed at the same time. So maybe we're seeing something similar now. Maybe Bitcoin is going to cool off and Ethereum is going to have time to play. I don't know for sure, right? But let's look at Ethereum BTC and let's look at BTC dominance and try and figure out if that's the case. And then we can plan accordingly, right? Because up until today, basically, Bitcoin's been smoking everything. And so when the market even pulled back, Bitcoin could pull back 1 or 2%, alts would pull back 4, 5, 6%. So the higher beta play on the short side was the weaker asset, altcoins. If we now get into a period where Ethereum is more dominant and alts are doing better, on the long side, you're going to want to long alts, and on the short side, you'd want to short BTC. Okay? Okay, so dollar, like similar to how Ethereum is so close to August high, dollar is right at February's low. I don't know how it doesn't end up running this, but it could just do this, right? It could just run it and then fucking completely reverse. So we don't know yet. Below here on the dollar, let's see, where would the next level of interest be for me? Probably not until 99, right? So if we get a breakdown on the dollar, which would be confluent with crypto and equities trading higher, 98 to 99 is the next area of potential support that I have, right? But we ran this low, got a decent rally, but then fully reversed. This looks like it wants to just puke lower. Pretty sure we're going to take out February's low here pretty soon. Then we see maybe it sweeps it. I don't know yet, but it looks weak for now. And crypto and equities look strong, right? Equities is pushing like this triple top here. This looks like it wants to fucking send. Like we had this very ugly close the other day, right? SFP and broke the low. But then today just completely reversed that entire move. Equities look strong, dollar looks weak, crypto looks strong, so we could continue to go up, right? But right now, I was hoping, right? I said this was the draw. We ran that, and then I said, I think now we go down here, and we've just ripped right back up to the high. So I don't really have a good read on this right now. We're still within this. Where would it be here, I guess? Yeah, we're still within like this bullish swing. So I was hoping that we pull back at least some, right? But it's just been Chad City. So I can't justify a long up here. If we break above here, put in a new high, then sure, then I have a new range to work in. But as it stands right now, I can't just long this here. I don't have a trigger. And it seems like 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, like this seems like it just wants to break up, especially with the dollar looking like it wants to break down, right? Dollar has been weak. What has gold done? It's gone up, right? The inverse. That metals with Mayne video was really fucking good. Really fucking good. And it didn't get a ton of views. And that's kind of why I stopped doing them in the first place, is they just weren't getting that much engagement. But I gave a gold setup in there. When I did that video, gold was trading up here. And I said, I want to see us pull back to here. And then I want to get long. This is the exact same trade setup that Ethereum printed. The exact same. You have your low to your high. Okay. And I also explained that for this to pull back, right, from April 5th to April 10th, I need to see the dollar go up. What happened on April 5th to April 10th? The dollar went up. And then when the dollar topped, gold bottomed. And I talked about this correlation exactly. I said, I know people now are super interested in looking at the dollar and looking at that cross-market analysis with crypto. Everyone's become kind of a macro expert. I've been telling you guys that the dollar and crypto have that inverse relationship for years. It's even stronger in the traditional markets. When you're looking at Euro USD and the dollar, the correlation is super fucking strong inversely. Same with gold and the dollar. So when I'm telling you guys, hey, I'm bullish on the dollar, on gold, so when the dollar gets to resistance, I want to see gold at support. That's going to give me that high probability trade. Dollar came up into resistance, order block here. Gold came into support, order block. I gave you the fucking level. I gave you the order block. I said, you know exactly what to look for if it pulls back here. Is there not a setup here? I see this one here, which I gave you guys, right? Your H1 trigger. Here's your H12 trigger. This is your entry. Your stop goes here. Even with the loose ass setup, targeting a new high. Right? Just about 2R there. Now well over 2R. But the trade I gave you was the H1 trade. I didn't even give you the H12 trade. I gave you the H1 trigger, which was extremely fucking sick. And I'm super pissed that I did not get filled because the H1 trigger was this. H1 setup was this. That's a banger. It's an absolute banger. And I know a bunch of you caught it, or at least a couple of you, because you guys sent me and tagged me in the wins channel being like, hey, I'm long gold. And I'm like, you sons of bitches. And I showed you guys, I had my literal orders in and they did not get filled. Even though it went below my entry price, but that's the way it goes sometimes, right? With spreads. Sometimes they work in your favor. Sometimes they work against you. I've had the other thing happen as well, like where my stop is here and price never actually gets there, but the spread takes you out. Or I've had my stop here and price actually trades through my stop and my stop never gets triggered. So it is what it is. This stuff happens all the time. It's just the cost of doing business. But maybe I should have had my orders a little bit above the level. I put my order literally right on the level and got cooked. So it happens. But this was a super clean setup. And again, it was all laid out for you in advance in that video. You had multiple days to watch the video, copy the levels, and then go and see it play out in your chart. The video came out on April 5th. The setup formed on the 10th, 5 days later. And you had 3 days or 3 12-hour candles, so 36 hours to get involved and find an entry. So again, this type of content, these types of calls, this type of analysis, none of this is going away. Okay, guys? None of this is going away. So if you enjoy this kind of stuff, stick with me. Keep watching the videos. Keep watching the streams. It's not going away. And again, it's unbelievable. I don't know who shares as much free shit as me. I know Cred shares a ton of free shit. SZ shares a ton of free shit. He has a paid group, right? But I share basically my entire system, and I show you guys me trading it live. Crazy. Okay, let's quickly look at Arbitrum, and then I'll end the video here because it's been almost an hour and a half. But I think this was a good stream. Definitely a lot of alpha in this one. So Arbitrum, we had a long that we initially took here, right? Off the H12 breaker, got stopped. But I said, hey, I posted after I got stopped, right? I posted that I'm still bullish within this zone, but I want to see a market structure shift and a sweep and all the stuff that I look for. So we have the initial breaker, break in market structure, took the long here, got stopped. I'm still bullish in this gray box. The reason I draw the box so big like this is so my monkey brain knows within this box, I'm looking for reasons to get bullish. And that's why when I see these 3 big red candles, I don't get discouraged. This is exactly what I was talking about. Remember? Oh, this is a downtrend on the hourly. You end up shorting right into the higher low. This is exactly what I'm talking about here. So the reason I do this big gray box is so my dumbass knows I'm looking for reasons to be bullish in this box. So even though we have these huge 3 red candles coming down, look what precedes it. 3 even bigger green candles. Right? So it's very scary in the moment. You're like, this looks like shit, but that's why I have the big box. Everyone makes fun of the big box. They like to make fun of the big box. The big box works. It's very simply a visual way for me to say, I'm looking for longs here. So I don't get caught up on the hourly, right? Look at this on the hourly. This looks like it's going to barf. You're like, oh shit, it broke market structure. Huge red candles. This is going to roll over. Look at all these lows here. It's going to dump. And then what happens? Smacks you in the face the other direction, right? Oh no, I lost all. I hate the replay tool for that exact reason. It makes me lose all my levels. But that is... Sorry, guys. I got to redraw everything here. But that's why I use the big box. So I don't get caught up in the low time frame noise. And I remember what I'm doing and why, right? I'm bullish in this fucking box. So even though I got stopped out on the initial long here, right? We traded lower and I said, hey guys, I'm still bullish on this here. And I see it putting in buy signals on the H1. We had our H12 sweep, H1 sweep, breakers, order blocks, all within the area to get bullish. So why are the order blocks and the SFPs in this circle giving you this huge reaction? Because we're within that big gray box, which was determining our bias as a bull here. Okay? So again, that's a very, very important piece of alpha. And it's definitely going to want to be something. This entire stream, I think, is going to be a great one to watch over again. Okay? So looking at ARB, if you caught this move, which I know many of you did, you definitely need to take some off the table, in my opinion, right? Some money needs to come off the table at this point and definitely de-risk, right? Don't have your stop where it was. Bring your stop up to break even or maybe even into profit. Take some money off the table. This move was almost 20%. And if you entered on either of these H1 triggers, right? So either here or here, this is well over 5R. So you got to be paying yourself something at this point. I usually pay myself after 2 to 3R a portion immediately to get that risk out and lock in some gains. So on a runner like this, like when you enter and the next day it fucking flies, yeah, pay yourself. We blew out all of these old highs. We're into some high time frame resistance. Doesn't mean we cannot go higher, but definitely take some profit, right? But yeah, this Ethereum, gold, all bread and butter setups shared with you guys in advance in the Telegram and in videos and streams. So I hope you guys appreciate that stuff, right? So I think that's where I'm going to end the video here. I'll take a quick look at the chat. Someone wants to see my sweet spot settings. Here are my Fib settings. This is my EQ. So I just have 0, 1, and 0.5. And then for my regular fib with the sweet spot here, I have 0. I have -1, -2. Then I have the 70.5, the 79, and the 62 for my sweet spot there. So this would be on the short side, invert it for the long side like that, right? This would be the long side, but it's the exact same thing. Those are my fib settings. For every market structure shift, you have a breaker and an order block. How do you pick which one to focus on? You decide. Do you see what is easier for you to spot? And then in your back test, what one gives you more action? Is it the order block? Is it a fair value gap? Is it a breaker? I generally focus on breakers and fair value gaps and order blocks, all 3. And generally they all are kind of layered on top of each other. I've been doing this a long time, so I can kind of pick and choose in the moment. But when you're starting, pick one. Just look for breakers or just look for OBs. OB is probably the easiest one to start with. Imagine people paying for chart champions and those other charlatans when this guy gives better information for free. I feel like I give some of the best fucking free streams out there. I genuinely believe that. Where do you trade gold? I trade gold lots of places. I trade it on Oanda. I trade it on prop firms. I trade it on Prime. Mayne, which value for sweet spot? I said that already. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay. So I think this has been a good video, guys. Hopefully you, learn something. Hopefully some of you guys are making some money. I know you are because you keep blowing up the wins channel and letting me know how well you're doing. So that's awesome. So I'm stoked. Yeah, and that's it. If you guys got questions about the Haven, you can message me. I tweeted out the link if you want to join. I'm going to start posting in there consistently on May 20th. I'm in there already, but I'll be more active in there next month. So if you want to support me that way, by all means, you can join. You get access to me. You get access to Cold Blood Schiller, Loma, Pierre, Krillin, UB, like some great fucking traders. If you do not want to spend money, my free content is not changing. I will still be doing a minimum of 1 stream a week on YouTube like I have been doing for the last 3 years. Minimum 1 stream a week. Market structure video will be coming out. I'm probably going to do a refreshed order block video sometime over the summer here. The Telegram is not closing. I will continue to post in the Telegram every day. It will continue to get forwarded to my Discord. And my Discord will remain open. I will still post questions. I'll still post in there. If you got questions, I will still answer. And the community that has been built in there, because there's a lot of guys who have been learning from me for some time now, trading in there, that's not going anywhere. So if you do not want to pay for the Haven, but you want to support me some other way, the best way to do that is to use some of my affiliate links, whether that's with Prime, Bybit, whatever. All of my affiliate links are in the Discord in the main links channel. So if you don't want to pay for a group, that's fine. There's no pressure. I'm not telling you guys you better join or you're never going to see me again. I'm still going to post what I post. But if you want to support me, trading on one of my affiliate links is the best way to do that. I'm looking forward to it. I will be back with another video on, I have a video coming out tomorrow that the editor is working on right now. So there'll be a short video, less than 10 minutes, posted tomorrow. And then there'll be another live stream on Monday, and then maybe another live stream midweek, because it's kind of nice to have the update, especially when the market is, action-packed and there's lots going on. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. This is definitely one to rewatch. And yeah, if you got any questions about anything, hit me up on Discord or on Twitter. Otherwise,